It is tough.
Mm.
And a lot of that toughness, some of it comes from the stigma society places on you. Some of it comes from the actual, chip on the shoulder that you get as being a convicted felon or being institutionalized. Um, you have to want to be out of that lifestyle, first of all. First and foremost, you have to be sick of it. I didn't looking over your shoulder, worrying about the next time you get arrested, not knowing who might want to come get what from you at what time. You have to get out of it.
Your success and growth all start in your mind. So get ready for another mind shift. Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're just discovering me though, my name is Joshua Kangley, and this show is all about positivity, inspiration, and motivation. And boy, do we have a very inspiring story today with our next guest. Before we get to our next guest though, real quick, if you're still wondering, wait a minute, who the heck is Joshua Kangley? Go to www.helloMyNameIsJosh.com. There you can learn more about me, what I do, and also all my podcasts and shows are all archived right there for your watching and listening pleasure. Now, if you have any questions about me, any guests on the show, or if you think you know someone who should be on the show, email me, josh@hellomynameisjosh.com. And also keep in mind, remember, every Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Central, a new mind shift, a new guest, and a new conversation will drop. So turn on notifications. We can remind you then when a new mind shift show does drop. Now, today's story is a story of redemption. And I'm a true believer, coming from my own experience, of redemption and climbing your way up to overcome any challenge in your life. And our next guest has a very, very, very inspirational story. Our next guest is Rocky Singh, aka the Hair God, and we're going to learn more about his very rough beginning to his very successful current standing right now. Let's get to that conversation right now with Rocky Singh, aka the Hair God. Rocky, welcome to the show.
Hi, Josh. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for coming on to the show. You know, you have a very powerful story, and I know you're very open about it, and I think it's so valuable, and it's going to be so helpful to so many. So first of all, just thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us today. And you're the Hair God. So we're going to learn more about that, what you're doing, and of course, the powerful journey to get here. But before we get there, if you just want to quick introduce yourself to us today.
Yeah, definitely. My name is Rocky Singh Kandola. As you said, my clients have started to call me the Hair God. Born in New York, brought up all over the world. And, as you were saying as well, it was quite a journey to get to where I am today. But, I am now here in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, running my business successfully and living a beautiful life.
You know, I'm such a believer in people. I'm a believer in redemption and just the human spirit. And so you're very open about, your journey, as you've said. From what I've been able to research and kind of learn about you, you've had a very, traumatic lifestyle. Or not lifestyle, but traumatic kind of childhood and early life. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Paris Hilton actually, recently shed some light on some of these schools in her documentary, This Is Me. And that was basically my childhood. I was in and out of multiple boot camps and facilities and places such as the Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs. The place I went to is called Casa by the Sea, as well as Academy and Ivy Ridge. These places, they basically wake you up in the middle of the night from your parents' house with your, hands cuffed already. They escort you, two big, huge, tall guys, to these facilities where when you get there, you're stripped down, your head is shaved, and you enter a regimented, strict routine that revolves around abuse, manipulation, brainwashing. Many of these places have changed their names now, due to allegations of, child abuse, torture, rape, numerous other things. Paris in her documentary goes into it a bit as well. For me, it was a lot of physical abuse. There was a lot of mental manipulation that kind of, played out how I would think about things later on in my life, how I made decisions. A lot of my big fears, my limiting beliefs, came directly from there. And I never really, dealt with too much of it until recently as an adult. because, so much happened in my life later, as far as, the near death experiences, having half my face, broke off, being thrown into a concrete sidewalk, and then eventually prison as well. When I finally graduated from the last schools I went to, like, as a kid, after that I was sick of it. I just, like, no one can tell me anything. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I dove headfirst into a lifestyle of, partying, drugs, women, waking up just to go back to sleep to party again. And, that quickly, in a couple of years, wound me up in prison, in Alabama State Prison, where, 9 years of my life between probation, jail, prison, and inpatient rehabs, went to that. That's not to say I didn't learn a lesson from all of it. And I do say that, it kind of made me the man I am today, which is, it's kind of just a struggle saying, because, like, I don't want anyone to ever have to go through those things.
Mm.
However, now where I am now at this age, I am grateful for a lot of that. It really, really taught me a lot. It really made me a tough guy. It really made me understand the highs and lows of life, and how low you can actually go, believing negative things about yourself, or, kind of playing and feeding into society roles of, dope boy, party animal, playboy, whatever you want to call it. And that's what that was my identity.
Mm.
So after prison, even I got back into it again, just because I'm not the type of person you can scare or hurt or hit, make me change. It kind of has to come from within.
Mm-hmm.
When I got out, I kind of got back into it for a while. And my father asked me one day, if I wanted to leave the country for a while. And that was like the first turning point, when I left everything I knew behind, everything as far as my identity, my friends, my circles, people I was selling with, people I was partying with, my girlfriends, and just went to India and lived a clean life. And that was 7 years ago. And it's, still been quite a journey, lots of ups and downs and slips in that time recently. But, the progress I've made since then, I've came to a place I never even thought, was possible in my life, especially as a convicted felon. Things are really tough as far as work and job. And then, in the society we grew up in, kind of being pushed to go to college, get a job, get married, hit all the check boxes, which is just not what I wanted to do. I eventually found my way through all that, and it's been a blessing.
The show is called Mind Shift, and you mentioned something very important there. That particular moment in time is when I kind of want to get to, where maybe you had that mind shift. And, you talked about you had some severe surgeries, almost, I think it was an attempted murder, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
picked up and thrown into the concrete sidewalk. My entire jaw was like, just a jumble of bones. I had to take bone out of my head to put it in my mouth to get my teeth back to me, actually.
Yeah, and that happened to you, and you were shot at, and you still seem to kind of had this hard-headedness, even still after that, and even in prison. So what was it that you finally got that mind shift of, like, okay, something should change here?
So the first time when I told you, like, I shared my dad asked me to the country, it was more of like it was more of a higher power type of thing, an outside energy that kind of, came into me and said, "Hey, Rocky, just go try something new."
Mm.
From there, like I said, I had a lot of ups and downs, and the second kind of actual mind shift came just 4 years ago. I think 2017, I believe, early. I was going through a tough breakup, and I kind of started to develop a lifestyle of yoga, meditation, eating good, putting good things in my mind and my body, as far as music, as far as TV shows, as far as podcasts and audio tapes, listening to good positive things. And I just kept feeding myself that, and I do a lot of that to this day still. But that's when my big mind shift. That's when I understood what the power of a mind shift was. Listening to a lot of people like Wayne Dyer, and a lot of other people out there on YouTube that put their content and information out there for free to help people. That's kind of when the actual real mind shift came, of, like, like, I was still struggling in business. I wasn't doing that well.
Mm.
I was living on my own. I was doing better than I was before that, but I knew there was more. And I think as entrepreneurs, we get confused about, there's a business side, there's a personal side. I'm a firm believer that working on yourself and making yourself better will reflect in all areas of your life, including your business. And I actually saw that to be true for myself.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. And you are an entrepreneur, and even as a child, I understand you're an entrepreneur as well. You kind of always had that spirit. So you kind of came back to that now as you've healed. And so, you've seen and have been around some true evil. I would say true evil, some real dark stuff. You've seen it, you've experienced it. How have you dealt with some of that trauma? And what would you say maybe to other people who have experienced some trauma and trying to get past that?
Yeah, I mean, I think healing is more of like a process, a journey. It's not something that just kind of happens, and it takes a daily thing. I still, deal with a lot of stuff today. I still have bad dreams waking up. I still have flashbacks. I still have times when I get really low, and a lot of that comes from my past and my history and where I've been and where I'm trying to go. For me, just doing this, just actually speaking about it, has been tremendously helpful in writing about it. My parents were very traditional Indian parents. This is kind of like a hush hush topic. You don't talk about it. And then being a man in America, like, men aren't, we're strong. Like, we're not supposed to be talking about this stuff, kind of thing. And that's what a lot of society wants to say. And I just don't think it's true. I don't think that we can just forget our past. I think we can work through them. I think we can understand from them, learn from them, and then move on beyond them. Taking it as, what it was and the experiences that we learned. But I think, like, my ex-wife used to tell me, just forget it. It's the past. Don't think about it. And I was like, it's a lot of stuff that kind of hurts me. And I kind of do want to talk about a little bit of it. And, doing these podcasts and talking about it like this helps, like, tremendously. So I would say it's a very good first step for anybody out there experiencing it, no matter how small or big you think, your pain or tragedy or trauma is. It's all valid. Everyone feels whatever level it is very strongly within them when it's painful and when it's traumatic. So talking about it is a huge first step. And you have to understand, you got to be gentle with yourself, in the process of healing is going to be something that you're going to be doing maybe the rest of your life. And it doesn't have to seem overwhelming. It's a very gentle, daily type of thing you're going to do. It's just taking care of yourself, and it's going to help you elevate yourself more and more and more.
And I just appreciate you so much, because you are giving a voice, to so many who maybe don't have a voice and who've been through some of that similar things, maybe in some of the same institutions, and maybe don't have a voice. So thank you for giving a voice to those unheard, and for raising that. So just want to say thank you so much for that. What would you say? So, once you're in the system, it's kind of hard to crawl out of that. Once you're kind of in the system and institutionalized, especially at an early age, it's really hard to kind of crawl out of that stigma, that mentality. How were you able to battle through that? And what would you say to someone who, in similar circumstances, to kind of keep trucking on?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a very, very important topic as well, because it is tough. And a lot of that toughness, some of it comes from the stigma society places on you. Some of it comes from the actual, chip on the shoulder that you get as being a convicted felon or being institutionalized. You have to want to be out of that lifestyle, first of all. First and foremost, you have to be sick of it. I didn't looking over your shoulder, worrying about the next time you get arrested, not knowing who might want to come get what from you at what time. You have to get out of it. And then you can begin the mindset and mind shifts and everything. I used to get in arguments and fights and this and that all the time, no matter where I was. And just being away from that lifestyle and away from that negativity and not doing those things anymore, I don't really get into that kind of stuff anymore. I don't really have those negative energies around me. It just doesn't happen. So the biggest thing in the beginning is you have to want to. Second, you need to really believe that whatever identity you created or society created for you, whatever trouble you got yourself into, there is 1,000% a way out and a way to better and a way to more. And you really, really need to know that from a very visceral level. Like, it's important to know that in your heart. And, it took me a while to understand that and to understand and to know that. And it's a journey. Like I said, healing is a journey. But there comes a point when you see the light and you're like, wait a minute, like, I can do more. I can do better. It took me, even my friends now, to see what I'm doing selling hair, it took them 3 to 4 years to even say, oh, okay, Rocky's actually doing this. He's actually making it. He's actually doing well. He's not just jumping around or playing around or selling drugs or doing something crazy anymore. And, I wasn't attached to the outcome of whatever they thought. But it was really nice to see finally, after this much time that, oh, my friends and family, they notice it and they appreciate it. They're proud of me, no one really ever tells me they're proud of me. In the past, I didn't really do too much to be proud of. So, I'm not doing it for them, but, it is a very nice, right, validation after you've done it, all the work and put it in yourself to understand that the people in your life, in your circles, they see it. And then, hopefully they can get inspired, motivated to do the same thing. Because many people I know have similar stories or we're in similar situations. And I want to help everybody so much. And there's just certain times when I have to back up and say, hey man, like, when you're ready, when you want to do it, like, I'll be there, and plenty of the people will be there. They say that the teacher arrives when the student is ready to learn or something like that. I think I was like, oh no, it was Lao Tzu or who it was, but that really, really does ring true. When you're ready to receive the knowledge and information, doors will open. You'll find the way.
Absolutely. And you like you found the way. You're a prime example of that. So again, I just can't say this enough. Thank you so much. Now you're known as the hair god. Let's get into how you became known as a hair god and what exactly are you doing?
Got it. So I actually made this business plan when I was sitting in Alabama State Prison. It was a one-page business plan, and I have it in my journals that I've been, looking through lately. It's just we do B2B hair extensions. I sell to salon owners, distributors, stylists, entrepreneurs who want to just start a new business up, and I give them a quality sourced product, transparently sourced, ethically sourced, with a strong supply team behind them. Which is, in any business, there's a lot of issues, a lot of pain points with people that they can't communicate with ownership, that they can't get their businesses running because they're not stable, they don't have someone to really back them up. And that's what I do. I work 24/7. I'm available for my clients. My team is small, tight knit, and they're all the same way and understand what we're about and what we want to do for all the people that we're with. I got the nickname Hair God actually by a Yelp client. Started calling me that, and then it kind of stuck on a little bit. And then, at first I was like, Hair God, like, it's so weird. Don't call me Hair God. And then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna roll with it, and it just came from that. So,
Because you're a supplier, right? Is Hair Maiden India?
Hair Maiden India is the name of the company. Yep.
Okay, and you're a supplier, and you're kind of known as some good quality hair products. Is that correct? Or hair?
Exactly. So we source human hair direct from the temples in India. We
Okay.
manufacture and get everything turnkey ready at our factory in India, in Delhi, India, in the north. From there, I have a showroom out here in Beverly Hills, and we ship worldwide to each and every continent. I guess besides like Antarctica, we're literally everywhere. But most of our clients don't sell our brand; they sell their own brand. So I like to give people the opportunity to make their own businesses grow, and that's the fun part about it for me, is watching someone grow their business and helping them and being a part of them to do that in the background. So.
That's really awesome. Congratulations for all you're doing, for just the achievement of overcoming all that stuff, and moving on and healing. That's huge. And for what you're doing in Hair Made in India as well, and helping others reach their success in business too. Where can people learn more about that? Where can they go to learn more about what you're doing?
Definitely, definitely. So I have multiple websites for the couple of different businesses that I do work with and I own. The first one is just my blog, rockykandola.com. It's just ROCKYKANDOLA, my name.com. From there, you can actually navigate to my hair business, my CBDT business, as well as a vacation rental company that I just started that I'll be having a link to on there as well. The name of the hair company is Hair Maiden India, and that's .com. It's Maiden spelled like your mother's maiden name. And we're across all social channel networks, from Pinterest to YouTube to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. And it's just at Hair Maiden India. Same for me, Rocky Singh Kandola, Rocky Kandola on all channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything.
Thank you again. A powerful story. We'll put all the links in the description there so people can find out more about you and your story. But again, powerful story. And I kind of want to go back to that again, that moment of when your dad brought up the idea of maybe just getting out for a while. So what's that like relationship now with your dad? Like, how is that? Like, have you talked to him about that?
Yeah, I mean, me and my dad used to butt heads horribly. I used to cuss him out. He used to beat my ass. Like, it was bad back in the day. But yeah, we're actually friendly now. We talk, we chat. The last couple of times I visited home, we actually sat there and looked each other in the eyes, had conversations, and had a couple of drinks together, enjoyed our company. Before, I couldn't stand being around my parents for more than 30 seconds to a minute and a half at the most. I would just kind of run out of there. But they're great. The places they sent me to as a kid, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know where they were sending me. These schools kind of manipulate the parents as well. So
Yes.
I hold a lot of anger in my heart in the beginning for that. But we've talked, and he's helped me and been there, throughout my whole life in many, many ways. And I love him. That's my pops. And we're not the closest, but we're definitely much closer than we ever have been before.
That's awesome. We've got to be proud of you. I'm proud of you. And just thank you again for your story, and thank you for what you're doing. Keep going, keep at it, man. And thank you so much for your time today.
100%, brother. Thank you so much for having me here.
Wow. What a great conversation. I just want to say thank you, Rocky, for sharing your story with us today. Thank you for being a voice to so many out there who feel like they don't have a voice. Thank you for being their voice. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you being a true guiding light. I appreciate you sharing that very vulnerable, candid story with us as we learn more about you and your growth. And I'm just so thankful for you. I'm so proud of you. I want to make sure I say that as well. I'm so proud of you, Rocky. Thank you so much. And now for being an inspiration to others who need to hear your story, to see that there is a way out, there is opportunity, and that if you can do it, anybody can do it. Thank you so much, Rocky, from the bottom of my heart. And thank you all for watching. I appreciate you as we continue to keep these conversations going, as we continue to deep dive, learn more, be inspired, be positive, and be motivated in our own journeys in our life to success and happiness. So if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate a like, share, subscribe to keep these conversations going and to keep the channel growing as well. Now, if you are still wondering who in the heck I am, please go to www.hellomynameisjosh.com. Again, there you can learn more about me, and all my show and podcasts are there archived for you as well. So if you have any questions about me, any guests on the show like Rocky, or if you know someone who should be on the show, please email me, josh@hellomynameisjosh.com. Again, I can't say thank you enough. This show is a journey, a true journey. And as we highlight guiding lights like Rocky and all the guests we've had so far, and there's more to come. So I'm so excited about that, where we take this journey and for you to come along with me as well. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Joshua Kangley. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.